Hello everybody, my name is Hadi, and in this video I want to talk about rectangular coordinate system. What is this system, rectangular coordinate system? Actually, when we want to use mathematics to solving the problems that related to the figures, to the shape, to the location, we should be able to show the location of the point or the location of the figures or the equation of the or the shape of the lines or shape of the curves. All of them we should be able to use to show them with using the numbers. Then we can use mathematics to work with these numbers. And rectangular coordinate system is the system that we can convert all of these graphs, shapes, points, and whatever to the numbers. What is the using of this system or benefit of this system in our daily life? One thing is when we are using, as an example, when we are using GPS to find our path, when we are driving the car, when we want to find our address, we use GPS. And the GPS uses the location of our car and compare to the other location and finds our address or path. Or when we are using the Google Map, is the same thing. Or many other different type of applications. How we use this type of thing? We convert them first to the numbers or equation, then we calculate them, then we solve them. Now, how this system, we are working with this system. Do you remember the number line? It was a line that the numbers are located in this line. If you remember, this started from very small number that we call it negative infinite. Then when we are moving forward, when we are moving from left to right, it's changed to bigger number, -3, -2, -1, 0, and 1, 2, 3, and continues until it ends up to very big number. We call it positive infinite. The name of this number, if you remember, we called it number line. Right? Now, this number line is horizontal line. Is a horizontal line. If we draw a vertical line intersect with this horizontal line at the point 0. If I draw a vertical line in this point, is a vertical number line. So I can scale it with 1, 2, 3, 4, and continue to the top. At the other side, -1, -2, -3, -4, and again continue to very small number. So we have two number line. One of them is horizontal, the other one is vertical. We call this system, which is in the plane surface, is in the two-dimensional surface. We call it rectangular coordinate system. The vertical, the horizontal number line, we show it with X letter at the right end, and the vertical, we call it with letter, we show it with letter Y at the top end. This horizontal line, we call it X-axis. The vertical line, we call it Y-axis. And in this system, we call it rectangular coordinate system. In this system, which we can show any point with using two numbers. One number is gonna be X coordinate, the other one Y coordinate. I will explain in more detail, but first of all, as you see, these two intersect, these two vertical line or vertical axis, X-axis and Y-axis, intersect each other in 0, point 0. This point 0, we call it origin. The name of this point 0, this point, we call it origin. Okay, and The whole region or whole area is divided to 4 parts or 4 areas. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each of these areas we call it quadrant. Each area we call it quadrant. And we number it, we name it in the order of counterclockwise. The clock moving in this direction, the movement of the clock, in the opposite of direction. In this direction, we name it or we number each of these quadrants. We call this one quadrant 1, we call this area quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Each point, the location of each point, we use with 2 numbers. We put the numbers inside the bracket. As an example, 3 and 2. Okay, 2 numbers. We show the location of every point in this surface using 2 numbers. We call these numbers ordered pairs. Pairs because they are 2. Order because the order of this number is very important. The first number always is x, value of x-axis, and the second number is always the value of y-axis. So the first one, the first coordinate is x, the second coordinate is y, always, and the order is important. The first one is x, second one is y. If we change the order, the location of the point is gonna change it. Now, I want to locate the point 3 and 2 in this system, in this rectangular coordinate system. First of all, look at this coordinate 1. When we are in the coordinate 1, look at here, the x value in this coordinate, the x value all of them are positive. The minimum is 0, which is the origin, and when we are going in this direction, is changing 1, 2, 3, and so on. So the x value is positive. In this, the y value or the value of y coordinate again is positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So in coordinate 1, x and y both are positive. Or in different way, in the other way, if we had a point which the coordinate of the points were positive, the location of the point is going to be in quadrant 1. In the quadrant 2, look at the quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, the x value is negative. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and changing to a smaller number. The biggest value in the quadrant 2 is 0. All the number is less than 0 for the x value, or they are negative. But for the y value, again, all the y values is positive. All the y values are positive. So if we have a point that the coordination of the point, the coordinate of the point, if the x value was negative, negative 3, and 5, and the y value are be positive, then the location of this point gonna be in second quadrant. In the third quadrant, the x value is negative, the y value is negative. Okay, remember, don't memorize it. Don't memorize anything in math. Understand it, then you don't need to memorize it. If you graph the coordinate system, these two x and y axis, and just label it, okay, but just looking at it in this coordinate 1, both x value and y value are positive. In coordinate 2, the x value is negative, y value is positive. In coordinate 3, both x and y are negative. In coordinate 4, look at x is positive, but the y is negative. Okay, now as an example, if I want to see in which quadrant is the point -3 and -5. -3 and -5. X is negative. Remember I told you the order is very important. The first coordinate is always x, the second coordinate always y. So the x coordinate is negative, so it should be here in this area. The y coordinate is negative, so it should be in this area. So this point located in quadrant 3. What about this point 5 and -2? X is positive, so here y is negative here, so it's going to be in quadrant 4. Okay, as you see, we are converting the location to the numbers. Now, if we have the numbers and when we want to find the location of this number, we call it graphing. I want to graph the point -3 and -5. I want to graph the point with the coordinate of -3 and -5. If I name this point as an example A with the coordinate of -3 and -5. How I can graph it? First of all, find the location of the point, because both x coordinate and y coordinate are negative, so it should be in quadrant 3, in this quadrant. I know that the location of the point is in quadrant 3. X coordinate is -3, so from point -3, draw a vertical line going down. Okay, the y coordinate is -5. From the point -5, draw a horizontal line to the left side. The intersection of this point, which is here, A, the x coordinate is -3, the y coordinate is -5. The intersection of these two dotted line is here, is the location of the point -3 and -5. We call it graphing the point, or finding the location of the point. One other example, so I want to graph the point B with the coordinate of 2 and -3. 2 and -3. So first of all, where is the location of this point? X is positive, y is negative, so it's quadrant 4. The location of this point is quadrant 4. Now from x, I know that the location is quadrant 4. From x equal to, from point 2 on x-axis, draw a vertical line downward to the down, and from y -3, this is y -3, draw a horizontal line. The intersection of these two dotted line is going to be location of point B with the coordinate of 2 and -3. Okay. We can graph any point when we have the coordinate of the point. Okay, sometimes the question doesn't ask to graph it, it just asks to find the location. As an example, point C with the graph of 200 and -700. Can you see, if I want to graph this one, they're big numbers. So it's, but the question is not asking me to graph it, it's just asking in which quadrant is going to be location of this point. X is positive in this area, y is negative in this area, so it's in this quadrant, which is quadrant 4. Remember, the numbering of the quadrant is counterclockwise. 1, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. This was about rectangular coordinate system. As you see, we converted the location of the point to the numbers. By using the number, we can locate the location of the point in two-dimensional surface. We can use the same thing in three-dimensional surface, a three-dimensional world. I talked at the beginning how we can locate our car using the GPS, or how we can find our address using the GPS. When we are using the GPS, actually we are using three-dimensional coordinate system. Okay, three-dimensional system. Then we call it X, Y, Z. We have three axes: X axis, Y axis, and the third coordination, which we use it as a height, length, width, and height. Okay, or we show it with the X axis, Y axis, and Z axis, which is not, I'm not gonna talk about it in this video. In this video, we are just talking about two-dimensional or X and Y coordinating system. That I'll just show it how we can locate, how we can find the quadrant of in which quadrant the point is located, or how we can graph the point. I hope this video will be useful for you. In the next video, I will continue the same topics. Bye for now.